Today is all about desserts. We got our pumpkin pie and we got our blueberry tart with our crumb topping, made healthy vegan style. No oil, no wheat, no refined sugar. And today, I'm going to show you how to make it. Alright, so the first step in making this pumpkin pie is going to be to make our pie crust. Now, I have an almond pie crust and I've posted the recipe for that. If you want to see that recipe, then you can tap here and it'll take you to that video showing you how to make my pie crust recipe. I've already made my dough, it's here. Now it's just a matter of rolling it out. Now we're going to be using the same dough in both these pies, the pumpkin and the blueberry. So I'm going to make two of these. I'm going to show you this one right now. Okay, so let's get our dough rolled out. Now, since the dough that I'm rolling is oil-free, I find that the best way to prevent it from sticking is to place it between two pieces of parchment paper and then roll it out. And then you can get a great result just like this. Alright, so let's talk about the ingredients we're going to use to make this delicious, healthy vegan pumpkin pie. Now this time of year, I start with whole organic pumpkins because they are available. Now if you want to simplify the process, you could certainly use canned pumpkin and get the same result. Next, a lot of time in vegan recipes and they're making pumpkin pies, you'll see people using coconut cream or coconut milk, and that's optional. What I use instead is cashew cream, so I can just skip the saturated fat. And I am making sure to include the method for making this cashew cream within this recipe, so you can check there to see how to make it. I'm going to use some arrowroot powder, some vanilla, and then here I have some cinnamon, some cloves, some nutmeg, and some ginger as well. And then of course, to sweeten it, you know me, it's going to be date paste. So these are the ingredients that comprises our pumpkin pie. Let's get to putting them together. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing to prepare the filling is I'm getting my pumpkin ready. Now, I wish I could share a special tip for cutting pumpkin, but I really haven't figured that one out yet. I'm cutting my pumpkin in half, removing the seeds, and then baking it cut side down until it's soft. Then I'm getting it into the food processor until it's nice and smooth. Alright, so now I've got my pumpkin prepared. It's been cooked, it's been pureed. Now we're going to add our other ingredients to it. Okay, so this part is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to put all my ingredients into the bowl here, and then I'm going to whisk them and get it really nice and smooth. The main thing to be mindful of here is to make sure not to leave any clumps of any of the spices or anything else. You want it to be really, really smooth when you're done with this part. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below. Alright, so now everything's been mixed. We have our pumpkin filling ready to go into our pie. I'm going to pour it, get it in the oven, and we're almost done. Okay, and remember, I made this pie crust myself, and part of the process was that it needed a pre-bake. Now I've already pre-baked it, so once I get my filling in, it's ready for the oven. All I have to do first is get it nice and smooth and even all the way around, and then it's time to give it a bake. Alright, so I've got my pumpkin filling in my pie crust. I've got it smoothed out. Now we're going to cook it. Keep in mind, I'm using an almond flour crust, and almond flour crusts tend to cook a little faster than traditional crusts do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this lid on top for the beginning of the cooking process, to the beginning of the bake. And what that does is it keeps the edges of the crust from cooking too fast and thus getting burnt. So I'm just going to cover it with this, and now I'm going to get it in the oven. Alright, so I've got my pumpkin pie made and in the oven, and man, it's smelling good already. While it finished cooking, we're going to get our blueberry tart together. Now here's what we're going to use for the filling. I've got lots of fresh organic blueberries here. I've got some water, some almond extract, some vanilla. I've got some arrowroot powder, some date paste, of course. We're going to get these mixed for our filling, but before we do that, we're going to get our crust into our tart pan, so that's our next step. Okay, so now I'm getting my dough rolled out and nice and flat to put into my blueberry tart pan, and then I'm going to trim it up. Next, I'm going to take my ingredients and add them to the blueberries and get the filling prepared and ready to pour into the tart pan. But I want to take 1 minute and just appreciate how healthy blueberries are. Now, I eat them every day. Not only are they really high on the antioxidant scale, but they're great for cognitive function and show some really promising properties against preventing or helping with certain type of cancers. I encourage everyone to eat lots of blueberries because they're so healthy. All right, so now I've got my blueberries coated and they're ready to go into our tart crust, and then we're gonna get them in the oven. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below. All right, so now it's ready for the oven, and just like our pumpkin pie, we use an almond crust here, and we don't want the edges to burn, so we're gonna cover it. Now, when I covered the pumpkin pie, you saw me use this nice pretty lid that looked like it was made for that pan. But actually, if you don't have something like that, then this works. This is just an extra pie pan that I have. I'm gonna turn it over and put it over top, and it'll protect that crust the same way that the nice lid on the pumpkin pie did, so it doesn't make a difference. All right, so my pie's been baking for about 20 minutes in the oven, exactly 20 minutes as a matter of fact. And at that point, I wanna take off the lid, and then I'm gonna bake it for another 20 minutes uncovered, and then it'll be ready. Now, the times I give you with baking are always approximate, they're close, but always check on your own. Your oven could be a little hotter or a little cooler than mine. The placement of the rack could be different, so you always wanna check it. But I go 20 and 20, 20 covered, 20 uncovered, so now I'm gonna get it back in the oven. All right, I've got both of my pies out of the oven. I've got my blueberry and my pumpkin. They both look beautiful. Now the pumpkin's ready to go, but there's one more step that we have to do for the blueberry pie, and that's put our crumb crust on top. We're gonna do that now. Okay, so I'm making my standard nut crumb topping to top this blueberry pie. Now I typically use walnuts, but you could use any type of nut that you prefer. Now once I get my blueberry tart top, then I'm going to turn my attention to my pumpkin pie, and I'm going to top it with some cashew cream. Now if you're allergic to nut, you could use coconut creams or just go with the pumpkin pie without any type of a cream topping. Either way, you won't be disappointed. All right, so that's it for the third and final day of my healthy vegan holiday cooking special. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't see day one of day two, go back and watch those videos. I made the main dishes and the sides, and then of course today we did the desserts. I hope a lot of you will make a lot of these recipes, and if you do, by all means write me and let me know how you enjoy them. All right, I appreciate you joining me. I'm gonna get started with my holiday eating a little bit early, and then I'll have plenty more again for Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining me. Happy holidays, and as always, thanks for watching. All right, if you're new to my channel and you're wondering how to find the recipes, look below the video and tap on the word more, and you'll see the beginning of the recipe. Tap on the word more a second time and you'll see the full recipe, and then you can begin to make your own. Thanks for watching.